Hello, hello. Hello, hello. This is Crocker's Crazy Living coming to you. Back from my vacation in Vegas. It was a good trip. Today I'm going to be making some stewed tomatoes. Um, my mother-in-law called and said that she had tomatoes given to her, and she had already scalded these tomatoes and peeled them for me. And I just got done mashing them up with my hands. So just take and mash them up with your hands. And then she had an extra thing of frozen tomatoes here, which are fine. So I'm going to add that extra container of tomato. And then I have onions and peppers that were in my freezer. So when I go to the produce place, and I was getting some of my stuff out over in Arcadia at K&J's. When I get over there, they have a cart of vegetables and fruits that are starting to, let's say, go bad. So they mark the price way, way down. And you can get like a Ziploc bag full of peppers for like $1. So one time I went over there, they had like 4 or 5 bags of yellow peppers, red peppers, and then I bought a couple of great big Spanish onions, and then I came home and I whipped them up in my food processor so they chopped up really well, and then I stuck them in a Ziploc freezer bag, and then I froze them. So I do that on purpose, so when I get tomatoes like this, I don't have to run to the store to get onions and peppers. I have them already chopped up in my freezer, and they keep very well. I got red peppers and yellow peppers and orange peppers, and I had onions in there. So I'm going to put 2 packages, and I do that so if I want to make salsa or if I want to make stewed tomatoes, I have that already. I just got to take it out of my freezer and stick them in there like this. Come in. 1 minute. Okay, so that's what I have here. I've got a great big Dutch oven pot with the tomatoes, and I got 2 big things of peppers and onion. And now I'm just going to get this on the stove, and then I will bring this to a boil. And then after I bring it to a boil, I'll take a ladle or a measuring cup or something, and I'll scoop off some of that water. It's always good to get some of your tomato water off of your tomatoes before you can them, because it just makes not as much for the stewed tomatoes as if you were doing salsa. You don't want watery salsa. Sometimes I get lazy and I don't get all the water off the tomatoes when I make salsa, and my salsa can be a little bit watery, but that's okay. We mix it with sour cream and stuff, and then it just makes it good anyway. So but I will probably take some of the water off of this when it comes to a boil, and then I'll get my jars ready and get it ready to can up, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make canned stewed tomatoes. Whenever my mother-in-law gets free tomatoes, I try to take them if I have time to process them, because they're free, number one. And the onions and peppers I already had in the freezer all ready to go. So it's like, why not? Don't waste food if you don't need to. If somebody's giving you free tomatoes, make something out of it. Make salsa. And you can go get at Walmart. You can, or some of the grocery stores too, have Mrs. Wages salsa mix. It's in a package and it's dried, and you add that to the tomatoes and it makes salsa, and you add a vinegar to it, and there's instructions on the back of the package. You could make spaghetti sauce, you could make stewed tomatoes, you could just make plain tomatoes, you could just stick them in a jar whole and add hot water and then have whole tomatoes. I mean, there's lots of different ways to process tomatoes. So this is what I'm doing today. I'm going to make the stewed tomatoes, and I'll come back later when it's time to can them up. See you then. This will be part one, stewed tomatoes part one, because I'm going to end up ending this broadcast and then picking up another video later on, instead of having my phone sit here on pause for 2 hours. So I'll come back a little later with part two. See you then.